It's a fascinating projects that you are doing, okay? And we talk about architecture of indulgence and projects that people do, large projects, smaller projects, resorts, and the practice and the state of practice, how you balance the kind of urgencies for the public life that you're trying to intervene as an acupuncture and a changing life of many, but at the same time, how uh, the sourcing, the time, effort, money can be sustained as a practice, and how you balance this practice in different layers of your journey.
I think we both have worked with Korea for a bit, and what we learned from him is this idea of cross subsidizing. That, of course, there are some projects in the office. I personally learned that a lot of projects that Korea used to do in the office, there were, of course, projects that were done for a, for a professional fee and for private clients, but an enormous amount of effort of the office used to go in planning projects for low cost housing and all, which were his own interests in. And this is something, the word cross subsidizing is something that he had articulated when I was in like one of our discussions, and I thought that's very important, because if you take some percentage of the fee that you receive as an office and put it aside to do to kind of indulge in projects where there is constraint of resources, and therefore the fee is not something that you can really depend on to sustain your work on it, and you cannot cut corners because you want to do justice to the work, so you have to put in that much effort and that much time. So somehow, that, so you, over a period of time, a small fund develops, and then that fund is used, at least for my office, to cross subsidize some of this project. It's not very always very clear like that, but yes, that's how we see it.
I'll be very direct with this because uh, actually the social projects, they don't allow you to sustain the office. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the kind of fees you get paid for it, or the amount of time and effort that goes into that. So, see, I mean, as a practice or as a human being, you have certain agendas that you want to express, right? I mean, it's not like you're an architect, so that's why I'm doing this. So there's a certain agenda or a certain belief that you have that you're trying to express. But at the same time, while doing that, you are aware about somewhere your practice should sustain. So you parallelly have to keep doing other work also while doing the same. I mean, doing these kind of projects. I mean, that's how you balance out, and that's how the wheel kind of keeps moving. Then yeah, also you get into academics to kind of also have like another vertical which allows you to kind of function into making these projects.
I think for us, the academic angle surely works as well. But I think with Chaal agency, we're also trying to find new avenues of funding. So we've also kind of dabbled in crowdsourcing. So looking at crowdsourcing platforms and raising money from people who believe in projects like this and want to make contributions. We also recently ran a design build competition wherein the funds raised through the competition went into building of the project. So for us, we've been sort of trying to innovate those avenues because in our case, we don't take commercial projects. So we don't know how else to do this. So we try and that also becomes kind of like a design challenge for us. So that's how we do it.
So it's important, isn't what Rohan also said, and I also put as a position, what positions you take and carry forward, and you are practicing quite few sometimes, and if you just there'll be a lot of young architects are there. If you can give them just a kind of advice, because I think that India needs that kind of interventions and positions that you took, and this is very very important, and that is why it's a smaller projects but a larger impact. And if you just give them some kind of advice for the budding architects or young, those are here.
I think I can talk from my own experience. After I finished my graduation and post graduation, I I thought I had no other way, and I had to join an office, and I had to earn my money, and go down the route that we all are used to. But I think down that journey, I realized that I wasn't satisfied. So if you know that that's not the kind of work you want to do, leave it and start on your own. You'll find your ways, you'll make your ways. I think that is what I would advise, because that's what I did too with my partner, and that's how we started Chaal.
So in our office, we have one interesting poster. It says, "Social problems are design problems," and I think it has come out of like one of the event you did, I think. Right? And to solve the social problems, you don't have to be an architect. It just requires an imagination. So, I mean, even for that matter, if you're working somewhere or whatever may be your journey, there is a certain observation that one can have and start looking at it. May not be a design problem, but at least something that can solve and create a better uh, facility or a lifestyle, or even in fact the Pani Lari project that you showed, I think it's a very simple idea. I mean, just give water to the community. I mean, what you don't need 5 years of education to think about that. So I mean, it's as simple as that. Yeah.
I'm delighted to see the work that's being done for people, you know. And the theme of this FOAID is redemption through design. And I think each one of you is redeeming design for in the public realm, because you know people. I don't want to call that word have-nots, but people who are not having that provision of being able to support good design or something. At least when they come out in public realm, if you make even a good bench, you know, the good bench, the comfort that it gives you, the ergonomics that it gives you, makes them sensitized to good design. And I think redemption through design is being done by all of you. And it's really commendable, whether it is about the truck drivers, or it's about water cart, or it's about what Ruturaj is doing for providing simple solutions to problems that exist and identifying those problems is really commendable. And I think if we can all start redeeming through design, we will be living in a better world, sure.
Just before we close, I wanted to just react to your question. So, um, um, because you talk, Rohan, you picked up from Rohan that the idea of position, and one of the things that what happens, after 5 years of architectural education, because it's built in a very linear format. You scale shift, right? You do a small project and a medium project, and by the end of it, you do a large project, and then you're an architect. Um, but um, but the but practice is not like that, because it's a very non-linear. You have to kind of continuously react to things, and one of the things that uh, one of the initial ideas that we had, and where I worked as a student in my training in Oroville, um, what the office used to talk a lot about is that you're fundamentally and primarily a citizen, and then you become an architect. So the commitment to your the fact that you're a citizen, and whether it is your politics, whether it is your the way you see the world, the way you see things around you, and the way you must react, and you must be sent, that got very stuck on me. So and it's inevitable for us, because we don't have any other source of income to have indulgent private projects. It is not possible to run a studio, and a studio means that you are responsible for everybody's salary and all that. To without doing, but then, and it is not that we have a front office that does this and the back office that does it. It's everybody does everything, and that sense of being a citizen is very important for our studio. So we do talk about it a lot, and even things like how the politics of the day affects us, and stuff like that. So that is very personally important to me, to be, and as a young architect, you are a adult citizen of the country. So then you have to kind of have that commitment to something. So that's
Thank you, Ruturaj, Kruti, and Rohan for this event. Thank you so much.